Rawdawg and some randoms. Usually mostly careful though. Always using protection. Double bagging it sometimes just to make sure there's no seepage. Because gonorrhea, herpes, and stuff. I don't want that.
Rawdawg football talk. Strap it up.
All right. Let's strap it up, brother.
Hell yeah, man.
Hey, man, how you doing this fine day?
I am doing excellent.
Yeah, man. I surprised you got still some color to your beard and your mustache after this last weekend with your Bengals. Just man, these guys giving you guys the up and downs, man.
So damn mad.
Gosh, damn, yeah, it's a rough weekend. A rough weekend for a lot of us. I know our Rawdawg picks too. We're going to reflect on how rough it was for us, but let's go ahead and get this show on the road, man. We are missing our co-host. Kevin's not going to be able to join us this weekend. This evening. So we're going to go ahead and have to move the ship without him, man. But let's go ahead and get this show on the road.
All right, let's go now.
All right. Well, what were your big takeaways for the 5th week of season play, man? I mean, we're fucking really rocking through the season already.
I will say that a few of the people that should have been rock stars are finally starting to show up. You know, so you're starting to see some of the higher draft pick players starting to perform. Kelsey is kind of starting to find his stride. So that's the positive to this. The negative is I don't think there's any complete teams out there. I really can't say. You either got teams that are good offense, bad defense, or good defense, bad offense. But there's just this year it seems really weird. There's no full 100% solid team.
Yeah, it's a lot of, I think, consistency. I think that's where we're seeing a lack of consistency, right? Like,
yeah,
one weekend the offense shows up for one of the teams, and then the next it's the defense or something. You know, these games have been pretty close. You haven't seen anybody just blowing each other really up. The Saints kind of took it to a couple people first couple weeks, but then they've been halted, man. I mean, the Saints have really been halted. But I think for me, the biggest takeaway for the 5th week, I'm really shocked with the Vikings. I think the Minnesota Vikings are really shocking me, as well as the Commanders, right? I mean, weekend after weekend, they're still showing up. Daniels is looking good at quarterback as a rookie. I mean, there's talks of possibly MVP, man. I mean, MVP talks. So that's something to say for a rookie in this league. And it looks like the rookies are starting to get a little bit of their swing now. You got Bo Nix for the Broncos, who's starting to look like he's getting a little bit more in the groove of things. He's, helping. The defense has definitely kept them in the runnings. But now you can see that they're starting to get I think he's starting to get comfortable. He got into it a little bit with Sean Payton on the sideline. I mean, you don't really get too crazy as a rookie with Sean Payton, but he did. Caleb Williams actually had a pretty good weekend himself, and Daniels is just week after week showing up, man. So I think these rookie quarterbacks are really kind of showing they might be some real deal quarterbacks.
Well, I can tell you Daniels definitely is. He is the real deal.
Yeah, he is. And I do recall when we showed all three of them, you were really down on him the most out of the three. So, but he's – I guess a lot of us weren't really knowing. I mean, and not only that, but the Commanders, dude, I mean, we didn't know how much of a supporting cast he was going to have, right?
That was it for me. You know, I just felt like it was a mistake to throw a rookie with a supporting cast that I expected to be garbage out there. You know, you don't see rookies with that kind of leadership.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean, the team is
he's
really
a general
rallying
on the
around him.
field, man. I mean, he's
Yeah,
definitely, and McCaffrey is looking good at receiver over there. So two
yeah.
rookies, that's some good length for them guys. But the Commanders definitely shocking me so far as well. The Vikings. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. So Jets went ahead and fired their coach. And what is your thoughts on that? There's like rumors around the league about why he's got fired. But obviously they really haven't been off to a great start this year. And you've seen that him and Rodgers kind of been having a little bit of a tussle on the sidelines, not necessarily agreeing. Like the coach went to go hug him, and he basically shoved him away, and
Yeah.
so you have any
But
thoughts on this?
yeah, so that's just Rodgers. He hasn't gotten along with any. He thinks he's the quarterback, the coach, the general manager, you know, and he had the same problems in Green Bay.
Right.
And that's the reason why he wanted to leave. The truth is, and this really is just the simple truth. I know a lot of people aren't going to agree, but the Jets need somebody that can throw for 40, not that is 40. All right. I'm not saying he's washed up. You know, he's still better than most quarterbacks. But he is to the point where he has set his ways, and it's his way or the highway, and that is not going to lead a team.
Right. Yeah, well, it's be interesting. I guess they probably have an interim coach for the remainder of the season. It's very early, but I don't see them really getting themselves. The Jets, the Jets are kind of in trouble, I think.
Yeah.
With this whole thing going on, doesn't help their team chemistry. This is a big disruption to the team.
Yep.
They'll probably have, I haven't really heard who the replacement is, but I got to imagine it's going to be offense coordinator type guy.
Yep.
He's someone who's familiar with the system to keep them rolling, right? Because I mean, obviously, you can't just come in and bring in a new coach and a whole new system because there's just no way.
Yeah, and this is an indicator that the upper management has gave up on this season.
Right. Yep. All right. So after week 5, we still have 2 teams that are still undefeated. We got the Chiefs and the Vikings. I gotta say, the Chiefs are starting to get their wheels turning a little bit more. The Vikings look like they're on fire already. But the Chiefs this past weekend, you saw Kelsey starting to get a little more involved. They're starting to get him.
No choice.
Yeah, right. I mean, the past few weeks, he's really been slowed down, and a lot of people have been really talking a lot of smack about him. This it looked like this last game when I was watching, they were really targeting him a lot because I mean, I don't know how many. He must have had at least 8 catches.
Well, they didn't have any starting wide receivers playing.
No, that's right. Yeah, they had a lot of tight ends running in those packages.
Yeah, 4.
Up to 3. Yeah, 4. Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the penalties from this week. And then, it's kind of gone down, actually, surprisingly. And the big reason why it's gone down, too, is there's 3 less games now that the bye week has started, week 5. So there was 13 games played this past weekend. So we're not going to really do the comparison like we've done in the past because we've been doing it off of 16 games. So from this point on, we'll be able to kind of reflect. But there's 13 games, a total of 164 flags were thrown. Out of those, 31 were declined. So there was a total of 133 penalties. That goes for 1,177 yards in penalties. The most penalties were the Patriots. They had 12 penalties, and week 4, the grade was a B minus. This week is actually an A, and I think that's just because there were so many penalties declined, kind of helped them out. But there is still a lot of flags being thrown. And there's still a lot of sloppy play. But you know what, bro? I think, we're starting to see how critical having, these, the off season, and not even just the off season, but these, the preseason games, I think, are going to be a little bit more critical now that you're starting to see these guys. They're all coming out, and a lot of these teams look a lot slower. Some of those guys are taking a little bit, couple weeks to get involved. I mean, Travis Kelce himself, it took him a little while. I mean, I imagine the whole summer he's, spent the tour with Taylor Swift, probably a little, and now he's an actor on Netflix, or he's got some, movies. So the dude's just worn out, but
yeah. And, something else I wish the NFL would change. All right. I'm not a fan of it. I haven't from day one. This overseas football games.
Yeah.
If I can't get rid of it, can they at least do us a favor, man, and change the schedule so that the teams that play overseas play after a bye week? That way they have time to go over there, get used to the hours, the jet lag, and all the bullshit. So NFL style players can actually play.
Yeah, because there's definitely obviously a time difference, because we're watching the game like at 6:30 or 6 a.m. at least over here on the West Coast. I think it was that time. So
Aaron Rodgers looked like he was asleep still.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, they don't got a lot of time to adjust because a lot of them just got done playing Sunday. Then they got to travel, and then they're off. Couple days. I think they get like a Monday, Tuesday off typically, and then they're right back at it, man. But I mean, gosh dang, to go over to another country that's, I don't know the time difference, probably like 16 hours or so. And it's just, that's got to be rough. And there's another one coming up this Sunday again. I don't remember where it's at, but this last one was London, right? This last weekend.
Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. All right, we'll go ahead and get into the next. Go ahead and get into our next segment, but before we do, we'll take a quick break.
Welcome to Veteran Voice Radio, where we honor the brave and celebrate their stories through music. Tune in to two incredible stations, Ranger Rockwave and Simplified Country. On Ranger Rockwave, experience the raw energy of alternative rock, featuring talented musicians who are veterans and military family members. Their powerful stories and unforgettable tunes will inspire you and keep you rocking. Switch over to Simplified Country, where the heart of country music meets the spirit of service. Enjoy heartfelt ballads and toe-tapping tunes from veterans and their families sharing their journey through song. Join a community that honors those who serve. Veteran Voice Radio, music with a mission. Discover Ranger Rockwave and Simplified Country at veteranvoiceradio.com, or you can also download the app on Apple or Google and let the stories of our heroes resonate through your speakers.
All right. Let's talk about how week 5 kind of ended, and let's go ahead and start off with the week 5 scores, and we'll go through those real quick. The Jets lost to the Vikings 23-17. Panthers lost to the Bears quite a bit, 36-10. The Bills tripped up by the Texans, and that one hurt them pretty bad. I felt like Allen took some pretty bad blows, took some pretty good hits. That was a rough game for them. Then we had the Ravens. Man, that one went into overtime. They squeaked it out 41-38 against the Bengals. That was a tough one for the Bengals. The Jacksonville Jaguars pulled it off 37-34 against the Colts. And the Miami Dolphins found a win, but I think they got, field goals? It was 15-10 against the Patriots. Hey, whatever you got to do to get a W, right? You know what I mean? It doesn't got to be pretty.
Nope.
The Commanders still commanding, and they beat the Browns 34-13. We had the Cardinals squeaked out that win 24-23 against the 49ers. The 49ers are really starting to struggle as we start to get towards the midseason here. And the Giants beat the Seahawks 29-20. And the good old Broncos squeaked out a nice win against the Raiders at home. And good old Kevin was there to witness that win. And they won 34-18. And then we had the Green Bay Packers. They won the Rams 24-19. And the Cowboys beat the Steelers 20-17. That was a tough game. So, after everything goes through, we're going to look at the records by division. In the NFC East, the NFC East right now is 11-18. That's a cumulative record. NFC North is 14-5, and the NFC South is 9-11, and the NFC West is 8-12. So the NFC North is looking really nice right up there. Only got 5 wins, with the NFC East trailing with 11-8.
Well, that's an improvement because, last year it was the NFC least. But now they're at least in second, man.
Well, and, I think that they owe a lot of that to the Commanders, right? I mean,
yeah.
Who
would have ever thought you'd say that?
Definitely that was not the tone at the beginning of the season. I think a lot of us were really hanging our hats on the Cowboys and even the Eagles. I mean, but
my bounce back team was the Giants, and they're starting to find their way too.
Right.
But the real Cinderella team is the Redskins.
Oh,
I refuse to call them Commanders.
I know it's rough. I catch myself all the time. All right, so just as fair, we'll go to the AFC side. So the AFC is a little bit rough. On the AFC East, they're 8-12. The AFC North, 8-12. AFC South, 8-11. AFC West, surprising, not so surprising, 12-7. And that's because we got the undefeated team there. So, but geez, who would have thought the NFC would be looking better than the AFC?
I wouldn't have ever called that.
Right?
Nope.
It's still a little early. But that's I got to say, I am quite impressed with that. All right. Moving on to the power rankings. Let's see how the power rankings ended up going after this week 6. So, after week 5. All right. So the Chiefs are remaining number 1, and that's no surprise there. Minnesota Vikings, no surprise here either, jumped up to number 2. So, just as well, the 2 undefeated teams are number 1 and number 2. So I think we're getting adjusted better here, maybe. Number 3, the Ravens jumped up 2 spots. The Lions jumped down 2 spots to 4. Houston Texans bumped up to 1 to 5. Commanders up 3 spots to number 6. The Bills down 2 spots to number 7. The Falcons are starting to climb up pretty high. They moved up 6 spots to number 8. That might be a little knee-jerk action. Green Bay Packers up 1 spot. The Bucks fell down 3 spots to 10. 49ers fell down 4 spots to number 11. The Eagles fell down 2 spots to number 12. Saints down 1 to 13. Cowboys up 2 spots to number 14. Seahawks down 2 spots to 15. Bears up 3 spots to 16. Steelers down 2 spots at 17. The Broncos made a pretty nice jump to 18. They're up 5 spots. The Cardinals jumped up 4 to 19. The Bengals down 2. They're sitting at 20. The Chargers didn't move. They're at 21. The Jets dropped down 5 to 22. The Rams dropped down 3 spots to 23. The Giants up 4 spots to number 24. The Jacksonville Jaguars up 4 spots to 25. Colts fallen down to number 26. They're down 4. Raiders fell down 2 spots to 27. Tennessee Titans up 2 spots to 28. Browns down 3 to 29. Panthers down 3 spots to 30. And the Dolphins are still holding their spots at 31. And the Patriots are holding their spot at last spot, number 32. Any thoughts on that?
I think I like this probably the best out of all of them.
Yeah, I feel like they're starting to hone in, man. Definitely you could see the top, I would say at least the top 6, 7 are pretty well accurate.
Yep.
I
wouldn't argue that, the Chiefs should be number 1. But I will tell you that I think the Vikings are playing better ball. And so I wouldn't be disappointed or argue if they had those reversed. It could be either way. I'm good either way. But I could see an argument for the Vikings to be better and be ranked number 1 over the Chiefs.
So I think why I would say that they're going to do this is they're defending champs, right? And they kind of got the same team, and they're still showing up. They're undefeated right now. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you too. I think that if the Chiefs went to Minnesota, that would be a rough ride for them. They're going to be inside the dome. It's just a different atmosphere for them.
I will tell you, if they were playing against the Vikings in Arrowhead last week, and I get they had none of their starting wide receivers, they would have lost that game too. The problem is right now the Chiefs are only barely winning. Every one of their games is by a touchdown or less.
I gotta say though, they're well coached, bro. They're very well coached, right? The coaches are getting them to keeping them where they got to be to get the W's, right? With the lack of players, with the injuries that they're going through.
Andy Reid is probably the best coach in the NFL right now. I don't care what
100%. Yeah, and he's one of the longer, now that Belichick's gone, he's one of the last of the older generations of coaches. So but yeah, he's just a really good coach, man. And that's why, they're playing always to the strength of the team that they're playing, right? You don't see them dominating anybody they're playing.
Yep.
But they're playing right up to their strength and making plays when they need to make the plays and getting those, first downs and those third down conversions and stuff like that when it's really time. So, and then, so I don't know, man, but like I said, with a lot of these teams up here in these top 3s, you go into their homes, it could be a different story for any of them. Because they all play pretty tough at their home place. The Arrowhead is a very tough place for a lot of teams to go into. It's very loud there. The atmosphere is a little crazy. But yeah, man. So
it's a tough stadium.
It absolutely is. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we got for Week 6. So Thursday Night Football, we got the 49ers versus the Seahawks. We got Jacksonville and the Bears. They're the ones playing wherever they're playing. That game starts at 9:30 a.m. And then we got the Colts versus the Titans, Texans versus the Patriots, Buccaneers versus Saints, Browns versus the Eagles, Commanders versus the Ravens, Cardinals versus the Packers, Steelers versus the Raiders, Chargers versus the Broncos, Lions versus the Cowboys, Falcons versus the Panthers, Bengals on Sunday Night Football versus the Giants, and on Monday Night Football we got the Bills and the Jets, which I think that's going to be a pretty good Monday Night Football game. Any games stand out to you?
Well, for the betting purposes or the fantasy football part of it, I never thought you'd ever hear this either. But there could be another 35, 40-point game between the Bengals and the Giants. There's no defense on that field.
Yeah. Yeah, the scoreboard might be a little lit up. I think the way the Bengals defense is playing right now.
If Malik Neighbors plays, there is nobody on Cincinnati's team that can cover him. Nobody.
You know, if the Bengals had the Broncos defense, they would be undefeated right now.
I would agree. Yeah.
You know that they would be totally totally undefeated right now. That's what they're really lacking, I think, is just the defense. Joe Burrows is a great QB, and he is going to be a great QB for years to come.
And the sad part is they didn't lose anybody from last year's defense. That's what don't make no damn sense.
Yeah, that is kind of where you scratch your head a little bit, right? Like what happened to these guys during the off season?
Yeah.
What did they lose their cohesiveness? What, did some coach changes happen? Yeah, because I mean, dude, if they got the same personnel, bro, they're not the same, by no means. But yeah, man,
Yep.
I think believe it or not, that Thursday night game, the 49ers versus the Seahawks, that's going to be a tough game.
It is.
The way
I'm
the
looking forward to that
49ers are the way the 49ers are playing right now. Seahawks, it's in Seattle, and
Yep.
that could be a rough.
Geno Smith's not doing bad.
Yeah, it could be rough for the 49ers starting off in a pretty bad hole, man. And I don't think McCaffrey comes back till next week now. For week 7 is what I'm hearing. I thought.
What if they start splitting carries between Jordan and him with how good Jordan has done?
I don't think that would be bad for them. I think that's where you have that thunder and lightning type deal, and you give them that 1-2 punch, and you keep fresh legs on that field. You know what I mean? You give them.
Yeah.
You give them 2 runs. Hey, all right, McCaffrey, get in there, brother. Go get yourself a couple runs. Like constantly, let's keep you guys, fresh. And so I think that when he comes back, teams are really going to be having to really act to the run, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to there's going to have packages where they'll certainly have both of them out there, right? In a pro package. And so then you're going to have a team that's starting to draw up, and then they're going to get beat on the deep ball, so we'll see, man. I mean,
it's not good for fantasy players, though.
No, it's not, because anytime you got to start sharing a damn load, that's, sharing a touch,
Yep.
Good
especially
night,
with your number 1 draft pick.
Yeah, because I could see both of them getting, an ample amount of touches each, right? Like a good, they can both be getting 10 or more touches. So, looks like we lost Donald. We're having all kinds of technical difficulties. Hopefully we'll get him right back. But before we do, we're going to actually get ready to move into our next segment. And so we'll go ahead and take a quick break. So just hold tight, and we'll be right back.
Join us for Hero Stock, a special event dedicated to honoring our veterans and first responders. Experience a day filled with incredible live music performed by those who served and protected our communities. Connect with our nonprofits dedicated to helping our heroes thrive. Discover the services available to support our veterans and first responders in their journey. Bring the whole family. Kids will love the fun activities designed just for them. Reconnect with your community and celebrate the courage and sacrifice of our heroes at Hero Stock. Join us for a day of music, support, and togetherness. Check us out today on www.herostock.org.
Come on.
Not over yet.
All right.
Man, that was
Welcome
weird.
Yeah, welcome back, man.
It completely kicked me out.
Yeah, it was starting to do something to me too at first too, and then all of a sudden you got booted. It was like bye bye. Well, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. All right, so we're right here. We're gonna start talking about our Rawdawg picks. Before we went into the week, I was 16-4. Kevin was 11-9. Donald was 12-8. And then let's check out what happened after week 5. It was a rough one. I am now 18-7. Kevin and Donald are both sitting at 13-12. It was pretty rough. Kevin went 2-3. Donald went 1-4. And I went 2-3. So how it went down for us, 36-30, the Falcons beat the Bucks. We all took an L there. We all thought the Bucks were going to go in and beat the Falcons. Of course, they showed up. Texans beat the Bills 23-20. We all took an L there. Definitely thought the Bills were a lot tougher than the Texans, but hey, the Texans are proving us wrong. The Raiders take a loss to the Broncos. We all got a W there. And we all take another loss here. Cowboys and the Steelers. Cowboys beat the Steelers. That's a shocker for all of us. And then the Saints lose to the Chiefs. And Donald thought that was going to be an upset. Didn't happen, though.
Nope.
And Donald took the L, and myself and Kevin took the W. So, once again, after all that, we're sitting at myself is 18-7, Kevin and Donald at 13-12. All right, so getting ready to go into week 6. Let's start talking about what we got going and who we think's going to win. First game of the night to pick from is the 49ers and the Seahawks. Who do you got on this, Donald?
I think I'm going to have to go with the 49ers.
Yeah. Man, damn it.
Huh.
I mean, it's in Seattle, you know.
It is.
I'm going to go with the Seahawks on this one. I don't know, man. Damn it. Don't let me down. All right. Commanders versus the Texans. This is going to be another one where we're really going to be tested, bro, because I when I was going through these, I was like, oh, boy, I'm up. I'm like all the way up to the point of picking now. Don't know what the hell I want to pick on this one either. But it's my pick first. So I'm going to go shit. Since it's in Houston and the Texans are playing really tough right now, let's say that rookie Magic is going to get a little bit tripped up. But I'm going to go with the Texans, I think, on this one. Yeah, Texans for me.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the better defenses that Daniels has gone up against. The Texans, I believe, are getting Joe Mixon back. So I'm going to go Texans too.
Yeah. It's in Houston. All right. So for game 3, we got the Lions versus the Cowboys. And these damn Cowboys always seem to, whatever I pick, they're going to end up doing the opposite. So what do you got on this one, bro?
I don't see the Cowboys stopping St. George, but I'm going to go Cowboys.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. I'm going to go Lions here on this one. I do. The Cowboys just, they always let me down. They'll probably you'll probably end up getting the W on this one, bro. Just because that's fuckers. That's what they do. All right, man. This one right here is the Bengals versus your Cinderella team, the Giants. Who do you got here?
Bengals, 43-42.
Oh, yeah. No faith in the defense. I'm going to go Bengals here as well. Come on, Joe. Don't let me down, bro. It's not really you that's going to let us down. It's the fucking defense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, come on. Come on, defense. Good, man. All right.
Tackle, damn it.
For game 5, we got the Bills versus the Jets.
You know, I have to go with Josh Allen against a team that doesn't even know who the coach is going to be, doesn't really even know what they're doing. Brees Hall is like getting 20 carries for 3 yards. I mean, they just don't have anything going for them. So I'm going Bills.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go the Bills here as well, just because the turmoil and with the Jets going on. I'm not exactly quite sure if Josh Allen is 100% after this last weekend. He took a lot of blows and he just had a rough game. But I still think no matter who's at quarterback right now for the Bills, I think they're going to get that win against them. So go Bills. And then we got to get Kevin's when he gets back.
You know, I will say that I am for this week I am benching Brees Hall.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I am. I just don't see how he's splitting down the middle, the load share.
Right.
And the other part is if you couldn't run against that team last week, you are not going to run against the Bills. So
yeah, that's definitely going to be a tougher week for him. 100%. All right, brother, we'll go ahead and move on into the next segment. Before we do, we'll take a quick break. And this is where you guys, if you guys haven't had the chance, you can download this app if you have Roku TV. Make sure you download it on every one of your TVs.
Are you ready to experience the power of military community right from the comfort of your living room? Introducing Military United podcast streams, now available on the Roku channel. Get ready to dive into a world of incredible stories, inspiring discussions, and the best entertainment the military community has to offer. With our veteran podcast host, you'll gain insights into the experiences that have shaped our heroes. And that's not all. We've got a lineup of talented veteran musicians playing rock, country, and more. Get ready to rock out with these incredible artists who have served our country and are now ready to entertain you with their soulful tunes. But wait, there's more. We've also got veteran comedians who will have you in stitches with their hilarious and relatable stories. Laughter is the best medicine, and these brave men and women know how to deliver it. So gather your loved ones, grab some popcorn, and prepare for an unforgettable journey into the world of military podcast, music, and comedy. With Military United podcast streams now on Roku, you can access all this incredible content with just a few clicks of a button. Military United podcast streams on Roku channel. It's time to honor, entertain, and celebrate the incredible men and women who have served our country. Join us today and experience the power of the military community like never before.
Man, yeah, like I said last week, a fantasy is quickly becoming a nightmare for me. My fantasy world is turning into shit. It started off great, 2-0. Now I am 0-3 since then. Now, so I'm sitting at 2-3 in the fifth freaking team. So this week I go play the guy that gets the number 1 points in the fucking league this week, and then I'm the number 2 guy. So anybody we would have played, we would have beat, but we had to play each other. So, and I needed this W, right? This guy's in second place. Now I'm in fifth at 2-3. And I'm telling you, man, I couldn't have really done much better with my roster. I scored 147 points.
Yeah.
There's not much more I could have done there.
That's what Joe Burrow said.
Even when Joe Burrow's lit it up. Chase lit it up. So between those two, man, they knocked out 70 points and really killed it. So that was going to be a rough one, and they still lost. That should actually they should have gotten some minus points there for fucking losing. All right, we'll talk about Kevin's real quick. Kevin took another L too, man. He's really struggling, and he lost by 5 points. What a rough loss for him. Zach Ertz, which I know he just picked up on the wire. He's having really bad luck with his wire picks. I could say that much because I know he just picked up Ertz because we talked about this, and he started him because he had high hopes on him, and he let him down.
Yeah. This has not been a good year for tight ends.
No, it really hasn't. And Kittle's actually kind of coming through for me a little bit finally. But yeah, it's been a rough one. I had picked up Zach Ertz as well because Kittle's was out 1 week. So I had to do a quick swap. And that wasn't really a great pickup. He's just right in the pine now. How was your fantasy football, man?
I lost by 7 because I did the dumbest thing ever, and I did not check the injury report for Jonathan Taylor. So I got 0 from him, followed up with 3 points for Mr. Brees Hall. So I had no running game at all, and I lost by 7.
That's rough. Yeah, that's super rough. And, make sure everybody you're paying attention to your bye weeks. It's very important for you. Hold on. Yeah. All right. So this week buys are the Chiefs, the Rams, Dolphins, Vikings. So notable players, like if you got your Mahomes in there, you better make sure you're benching them, putting someone else. Make sure you guys are out there doing your swaps. The Dolphins definitely need a buy. They need some recovering. And so make sure you guys are checking on your bye weeks. That's a big thing. And here's some notable players for the waiver wires. If you need to pick up someone real quick, they got Drake May at quarterback for the Patriots, Tank Bisbee running back for the Jaguars, Tyrone Tracy running back for the Giants, Joshua Palmer wide receiver for the Chargers, Michael Wilson wide receiver for the Cardinals. Did I say Joshua Palmer wide receiver for the Chargers? I felt like I said Cardinals twice. Tyler Conklin tight end for the Jets. Who'd you say you just picked up?
Oh, Tyrone Tracy. I picked him up this week. He's going to let Brees Hall see what it's like to be on the bench. So Brees Hall can watch Tyrone Tracy this week.
Yeah, time to light it up.
Well, if he's going to have a back-to-back big game, it can definitely happen against the Bengals.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, what better, I guess, defense to kind of go up against?
I'm going to go out there on a and this only pertains if Neighbors plays. But I say Danny Jones throws for 2 TDs and runs 1 in.
Throws for 2 TDs and runs 1 in. All right. Well, that's going to be a fantasy owner dream right there.
Yep.
Right. Shit. You got any advice for anybody going into week 6 in terms of fantasy? Do you start panicking? And, at this point in time, do you start to panic a little bit?
Yeah. If you're needing a win, then you've got to be playing players that you can get that's got the highest ceiling. Ones that, I'm not saying you bench, Kelsey or somebody like that. But in your flex positions, one of your running backs, one of your wide receivers, somewhere in there, you've got to have some players that you can hope can exceed that ceiling that they've been hitting. And the other part is work. The damn trades and work the free agency, because that is the only way you're going to dig yourself out of that hole.
Yeah, it's definitely time to make sure you tighten up your roster and keep making sure you're honing in and paying attention to the free agency stuff, or the wires, and also really pay attention to the dang buys and the injury reports too. The injury report will get you up to the game. I mean, some of these fucking teams screw fantasy owners by going to game time decisions, and you're just riding it. So, if you're really kind of needing a win and that person's really on the teeter of maybe not playing, I would say I would have a good backup to back that person and put them in. That way you can feel that you're going to get, something out of, because if you end up not playing and you get zero, that's the donut's no good. Yep. So, man, so what are you right now? 2-2?
I'm 2-2.
Yeah, I want to say Kevin's either 2-3 or 1-4, and I'm 2-3. So we're all not
right
doing that great. We're not doing very well on the damn fantasy side. And football's crazy. Even on the college side, shit, that was a crazy weekend in college football. I don't know if you pay attention to that, but
I do.
Yeah, man, the top teams got knocked out by teams that weren't very
Alabama
good.
got beat by Vanderbilt.
Oh my gosh, dude, the Vanderbilt, they'll be riding out for years.
Yep.
Yeah, my gosh. They had shown the announcer for Vanderbilt. I guess he's been there forever. And man, he just wouldn't stop saying that Vanderbilt beat Alabama. Just I think he was in shock. He had to say it enough to make himself believe it.
Yeah.
And man, those Alabama players were pissed. They were acting like fools, man. I mean, but you guys got to watch out, boys. You guys got them NIL deals, and you're gonna have to watch how you carry yourself a little bit, because you'll be losing contracts and stuff real quick, man.
Yep.
Throwing your helmet in the middle of the field like that, no good.
Nope.
They don't want that stuff.
Yeah, no, you've got a whole nother level when you go to the pros, man. And they look at that shit.
Oh, 100%, man, because they're paying you a lot of money too. I mean, to represent their brand.
Yeah.
And you're out there and they know that little kids and everything else worship all these players. Yep. So you gotta, there's a certain level that you got to conduct yourself and carry yourself, because that's the realm you're stepping into, right? I mean, when you want to go to the big show and be upon everybody else, you got to conduct yourself like so, man. We get it. Emotions run high, and we're all competitors, especially in the football world. Everybody's very competitive.
Yeah.
So emotions get high, but you also got to realize kids are watching it every game. They're sitting there watching you, and they emulate what you guys do. So
yep,
do better.
Do better.
Do better. All right, brother. Well, shoot, man. You got anything else before we cut out of here?
No, I think things are starting to settle down, and if you're like me, you're still 500, or you're 2-3, something like that. Don't panic. Now's the time to be calm and think through. Don't go chasing big dreams. A guy has a breakout game and think you're going to pick him up next week and he's going to do the same thing again. You know, that's all I can say, man.
Yeah, you got to
It's a
watch
tough
out.
game.
You got to watch out for those knee-jerk reactions, right? Like,
Yep.
oh my gosh, he had a good game and he's been sitting in free agency forever, and then you go and start him. I think Kevin kind of did that a little bit. Kevin is, starting to go against, I think, what he didn't want to do, and he's starting to do it. He's chasing players,
Yep.
right?
He's panicking.
So he's chasing players, and then he'll start them, and then they don't do good, and then he's like, dump them, So,
Yep.
man,
Yes, sir.
yeah, that's definitely what you got to watch out for. Don't go, getting rid of your whole roster and stuff like that. But we are starting to see the ones that are showing up now,
Yep.
so it is starting to get to that level where you're starting to see week in, week out, who shows up and who's not showing up, and kind of you're starting to be able to hone in a little bit better on your roster around this time. And if not, and you're really in trouble and you're still you can't hammer it in. I think this is the first. No, I did go to the wire. I got to go check real quick too. See if I got what I needed. I think I switched out of defense, but all right, man. We'll go ahead and cut it out. But hope everybody has a great night out there. Remember, you guys can check us out every Wednesday. We're live here at Live Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we're here just to have a good time. You guys can join on in. Let us know who you guys think is going to win. Jump in on the conversations. It's a good time. You guys can check us out on Roku channel and download us at Military United Podcast Streams, or you can check us out on Spotify, Apple, all the platforms. Basically, we play here. And since we can't stream to all the different areas, I usually put this on live right after this, right on YouTube. So if you weren't able to catch it all, you could go to YouTube and watch it again, and it will be there. But hope you guys have an amazing day, amazing week, and have some fun this weekend watching some football. And don't do nothing too crazy. And we'll see you guys on the next one. We'll see y'all.